Welcome back to our tutorial series. Today we'll use Reexpress to build a personalized classifier for scientific articles submitted to arXiv. This works great as a recommendation engine to filter the daily arXiv article feed. So if you're a researcher in AI, you immediately know why this is useful. For those coming in from other fields, in short, the number of papers in AI related fields has exploded in the last few years. For reference, here's a graph from arXiv showing the computer science submission since 2015. Traditionally, researchers in fields such as natural language processing or machine learning read a daily email of paper abstracts from arXiv. And this was the primary means of learning about new research. It was great because it was unfiltered. You could quickly scan through the new papers without the bias of third party aggregators or gatekeepers. But now there can be over 100 new papers in just a single day, so it's really untenable without some type of filtering. But ideally, we would like to retain the spirit of not being dependent on third party gatekeeping. So this is a perfect use case for creating your own personalized classifier. Okay, let's get started. There will be some repetition today to keep this tutorial more or less self-contained, but be sure to check out the other tutorials as well. Let's create a new project. Here I'm going to use a 1 billion parameter model. This is what I use for my own archive classifier. You can also use a smaller model if you have an older Mac. For the most part, the 3 billion parameter model is overkill for this task, so you might as well use a smaller model to save time when retraining. And you'll want to retrain frequently. Every day is reasonable if you're adding new articles, and retraining takes just a couple clicks of the mouse, so it's easy. For the default prompt, choose custom and copy and paste the prompt from the tutorial README into the text box. Even if you include a prompt in the JSON for each document, you should still add a default prompt because it'll save you time when running semantic searches since you can just click default to autofill the prompt. And we can choose a directory and file name to save the project. We'll call this archive recommender. Click save, and then we can create the project. Great. Okay, so the next question is where does the data come from to initially train our binary classifier? If you go to the repo for the tutorial, there are two Python scripts to download abstracts from arXiv, and the README describes how to use them. So the first script can be used to bulk download articles via the search API. You'll use this to initially build up a modest number of articles to train the model. And you'll use this second script to download and format the daily RS feed. And you won't have to write any additional code. The only changes you'll need to make are with the input arguments. And in the case of downloading from the search API, you need to provide a text file that specifies the articles you want to download, either via archive IDs and or via keywords. And in the repo, we provide three files that are examples of the format. You should just replace these with the article IDs and or the keywords that you consider relevant and or not relevant. Downloading from keywords will result in some noisy labels, but that's fine. You can just refine the labels over time. You should have a aim for around 1 to 2,000 articles in each of the training set and the calibration set. And it's important to remember that you'll want representative abstracts from both classes. I mentioned this just to highlight that you'll need to run the search script twice. Here, label 1 is the relevant articles, and label 0 is for the not relevant articles. And just as a reminder, this binary classification setting seeks to filter the abstracts based on the surface level characteristics of the text. The goal here is not to separate good research from bad research or reliable research from not reliable research, but just to detect the articles of topical interest to you. Okay, once we've downloaded our initial set of documents, we can just import and train as we've done in the other tutorials. And I'll just step through this briefly for anyone who hasn't seen the earlier tutorials. So as a no-code environment, we can just select each of the training files, and then similarly, each of the calibration files, choosing the calibration set. And then we can just click upload, and this will import it into the application. And then we can optionally, but typically, upload the label displays name file. And we've included this in the repo for the tutorial. And this is only for display purposes, but this will allow you to see the string labels rather than the integer 0 and 1. Next, we can go to the Learn tab to kick off training. We can click Train, and then Batch to train and compress the model. The batch setting will also auto start the inference step once the training and compression steps are complete. Here we can just choose 200 epochs and otherwise use default settings. Click continue, check that we have enough space, and then we can kick off training. I'll speed this up at around a 20x rate, and we see that training, compression, and prediction take around 9 minutes on this M2 Ultra 76 core machine. So as a back of the envelope calculation for an M1 Max, expect about 2x longer, so around 18 minutes. It's also worth noting that subsequent retraining will be much faster because we cache relevant hidden states of the model. So as I mentioned, after it finishes training, it's running through prediction. And we see here that it is indeed takes around 9 minutes. And then once that process is complete, we can inspect the training and the compression curves, and now we're ready to predict over new documents. Now that we have a trained model, every day we can then download the daily RSS feed via the second script in the repo. We just have to provide an argument for the archive category we want to download, and the formatted output will be saved to the output directory we specify. And we'll see in a few minutes that we don't actually have to manually run this. We can schedule our calendar app to run this. But first, let's go back to the data tab and see how to predict over the new documents. So just for organizational purposes here, I'm going to create a new data split. I'm going to call this CSCL 2024 114 to reflect the date of the RSS feed. And then we are going to go ahead and add the file, the JSON lines file that the Python script created. These are just the downloaded abstracts reformatted for Reexpress. Import, and then we can click predict, and this will go ahead and predict over the new documents. And so this is running an inference pass as well as calculating feature importance and calculating uncertainty, which itself requires a dense vector matching step. And we'll see that this is pretty fast on this M2 Ultra machine. So this is only going to take around 18 seconds. Before we look at the data more closely, to recap from earlier tutorials, Reexpress unlocks a remarkable capability of machine learning. With Reexpress, we can effortlessly partition high-dimensional data and models, such as large language models. This is a paradigm shift in AI because it enables reliable and introspectable uncertainty quantification. And this is a capability unavailable via any other applications or APIs. So in the context of an article recommender, this will enable us to constrain the relevant predictions to only those with the highest probability. We'll typically primarily use the Explore tab to quickly filter and read abstracts, but first, since we've just trained the model, let's jump over to the Compare tab and take a look at the data distribution. Let's go ahead and select the data split we just created and select all of the data. And let's compare this to the calibration set. Let's go ahead and align the x-axes. And immediately we do see that there are some duplicates in the calibration set against the training set, so we'll want to fix that, and we'll come back to that momentarily. So setting aside those distance zero outliers, the distributions do look roughly similar at a high level in terms of the output magnitude, the distances, and the similarity to training. Note that the points in the data split on the left are blue because they are unlabeled. Scrolling down, we see that the calibration set balance accuracy is around 86, which seems like a good start. But wait a minute, look at the calibration and reliability distribution. The classifier is actually not that reliable as indicated by this distribution. So if this were a higher risk setting, we'd want to mostly hold off on using the classifier until we have predictions of the highest reliability partition, such as by collecting more data. In our case, we'll take this as an indicator that we need to label more data, which we'll do on a daily basis when filtering and reading the RSS feed. To put this in another way, that means that when we go to the Explore tab to examine our new RSS feed, when we choose the highest reliability partition, 0 documents will be returned since there are 0 such documents in the calibration set. Recall that these partitions are a mapping between our unlabeled data and the labeled calibration set. And you may be in this situation when you first train your classifier. So the question is then how to filter and sort the data if there are no documents in the highest reliability partition, which ideally is the set of documents we're most interested in. We provide some advice in the repo README as you bootstrap your classifier. Let's look at that in practice. Okay, let's first let's reset the selection here. Let's select then our RSS feed, and we'll choose the high magnitude. Let's get rid of the OOD points if there are any, and let's get rid of the low similarity points as well. And then we're going to choose the relevant predictions. Okay, and then let's restrict ourselves to the documents with a probability of 90 or higher. And then let's sort by the similarity and then select 21 documents. And indeed, the first document is relevant. One of our keywords when we were setting up the classifier was active learning, and this is a variation on the theme of active learning, which they refer to as experimental design. Out of curiosity, let's search in the feature space And actually, the first training document, nearest training document, is actually about active learning as well. Now, we wouldn't necessarily assume that the topic would be a match in feature space, but it does happen to be so in this case. Typically, we'll want to use a semantic search for that, and let's do that. So first, what this paper is talking about is actually something of an alternative to typical active learning setups to cut down on the computationally expensive loop that you typically have in active learning. And we'll actually see in a future tutorial how Reexpress can be used for quite efficient labeling. But here, let's do a search for a more common take on active learning. So let's go to select, let's reset, and then do a semantic search. And in this case, let's search the calibration set. And let's just do a search for active learning for efficient model training more broadly. Let's use the default prompt. And let's go ahead and also select these keywords, active learning, efficient training, and click select. As I mentioned in previous tutorials, the search is a hybrid lexical and dense search over all the documents, as well as within the documents themselves. Highlighted in orange will be the most relevant sentence returned for the search. And so let's look at the top document here. And so we do see that it is indeed relevant. So in this case, efficient insofar as annotating. And the second example here is also relevant, here referring to efficiency of the underlying model itself. Now in the upper right here, I want to mention that you have a considerable control over how the abstracts are displayed. You can turn off the feature highlights, and you can also, for example, increase or decrease the font size. And you also have a lot of control over the brightness of the text itself, which is independent of the brightness of the monitor. As we're reading, we'll want to label and update our training and calibration sets. Let's return to our sort of the RSS feed and let's mark that first document as relevant. And then let's transfer that to the training set. Now we'll want to keep the data roughly balanced. So let's pull up the counterpart of not relevant predictions. And let's transfer that document to the calibration set after labeling it as not relevant. One last thing I want to show in the interface. So when we were initially in the compare tab, we saw that there were some duplicates in the training and calibration sets. Typically we'll want to remove these, and this is really easy to do. We can just go to the select and then choose the documents with a distance of 0. Choose select display, and then here we see, for example, that this first document has a distance of 0. Scrolling down, this last one also has a distance of 0. So we can go to batch, and we can go ahead and just delete all of these. And we can do a similar process in the training set itself, just to ensure there are no duplicates within the training set. Great. One last thing I want to highlight today is that you can schedule the RSS download script to automatically run every day. The repo has instructions that I'll step through now. We're going to do that with Apple's built-in app called Automator. Start by copying this code block and then open the Automator app and choose application and then search for run shell script. And then drag and drop that onto the canvas, and then paste that code block into this window. Now, the main thing that we're going to need to change is this path. I'm going to copy and paste the path to RSS script on my computer, but replace this with whatever path you're using. The other thing is that this output directory needs to exist, so we'll go ahead and create that now. Great. Okay, so then we can go ahead and save this. And to do that, just go to the standard file save dialog, and then we can just call this archive, RSS, download, and save. Anytime you want, you can then go to this file, double click it, and the RSS script will run. But we're going to schedule via calendar so that you don't have to remember to run it every day. To do this, open calendar and create a new event, and we can just call this RSS download. And I'm just going to set this arbitrarily here to run a couple minutes from now. And normally we could also set this to repeat, but I won't do that here. Next, you want to click Alert, Custom, and then choose Open File. Select the Automator app file in the second dropdown where it says Calendar by default, and then choose at the time of event. Let's go back to the directory where it's going to save. And when it first runs, you may get a pop-up to confirm access to the directory. Okay, we see both RSS feeds are going to download successfully here. And then we can just upload those JSON lines files directly to the Reexpress app. And here we see that the log files are empty because the download was successful. So that's how to create a personalized archive recommendation classifier with Reexpress. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know. Thanks.